so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today is your Thursday housing market update. You guys don't buy, just wait out a little bit longer. And what we're going to do today, you guys know that I like to wait for Fred economic data to update their graphs on interest rates every Thursday. So we're going to look at what today's average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is. And then we're also going to look at a map that essentially goes through various states to tell us how much more it is to own versus rent. We're going to look at a map essentially that tells us how many people are renting versus owning. And then we're going to conclude the video with me accessing MLS and showing you guys my local market, because I live in a high migration area. So I'm going to lag behind, in my opinion, most of the nation as far as the transition out of a seller's market into a buyer's market. Now, overall, I'm already seeing signs of the transition. I think it's going to be a bad transition for most people, and especially people that are not preparing for it. So I'm hoping after you guys watch today's video, you're essentially going to either prepare, or maybe you're already prepared and you're going to have more confidence in waiting. Now, if you guys can, definitely like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as always, you guys comment. I learn a lot from my comments. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a realtor in Houston, a loan officer in Texas. So what we're going to start at today is Fred economic data. We're going to take a look at the 30-year fixed rate mortgages, and we're going to see where that's at right now. All right, you guys. So you can see that the interest rates are still skyrocketing up. And as of April 21st, which is today's date, the new average 30-year fixed rate is 5.11%. Now, you guys remember why I'm using Fred data and not other sources, because Fred data is a little bit more conservative. And I go with conservative when I'm shopping for interest rates, when I'm shopping for mortgages. So this is a good indication to do that. And it will kind of tell you what you will get if you have phenomenal credit, right? In my opinion, anyways, that's what I believe. I am a loan officer, but I'm not giving you guys loan officer advice. I'm just kind of sharing my opinion. Now, what's interesting to note is at the beginning of the year in January, interest rates were 3.22. Okay, so they're about, it's really hard. Okay, right there. So interest rates at the beginning of January were 3.22. They shot up and they did not stop shooting up. Look at this, just straight up, essentially straight up to 5.11. So essentially since January to right now, the interest rates have gone up 189 basis points, or since the beginning of this year, purchasing power has diminished of 18.9%. You guys, so 18.9% rug pull, right? And the reason I'm saying 18.9% purchasing power rug pull is this giant spike right here. You see how from here, from this low to this high, it's kind of it's a little bit of a shoot up here, but it's a lot more gradual than just straight up. And what I want to point out to you guys also is we haven't had a surge like this in a very long time. And the last time we had interest rate surges like this, both of the times it led to a recession. And I want to show you guys that. But the most recent surge is 2016. Look, we had a surge here, but nowhere near the surge that we have now. And then back in 2013, we also had a surge here, but nothing like this. So let's go back. I'm going to max out this map right now. And really the last time that I'm seeing here that we had interest rate surges like this is back in 1979 and 1980. So if you look here, this is 1979. Rates shot up, right? The rates shot up, and essentially the Federal Reserve, the federal government put us in a recession. So that rates going up like that, boom. You see that gray line right here going down, the vertical gray line, that stands for a recession. So rates shot up in 1979, boom, recession. And then look at this, rates shot up again in 1980, and look at another recession. So this is the last time they kind of shot up like they have down here. So again, recession. So essentially what I'm saying, you guys, is the Feds actually may trigger a recession, which is something that they may have to do in order to slow our economy down, and also in order to combat the ridiculous inflation we have right now. So it's important for you guys to understand that with data, with historical data, and kind of look at the big picture. Don't just stay fixed on, we have low inventory, so we're immune to everything. No, we're not immune to everything. Things can change like this. Obviously, if people can't buy houses, then naturally the supply will go up. And that's what I'm essentially telling you is what's happening right now. And the federal government is probably going to trigger a recession. So again, you guys, that's why I'm always saying, find yourself another income source. Okay. If you're struggling, if you don't have more than $20,000 saved and you're out of consumer debt, go get yourself another job. Unless you have a whole bunch of kids, like I have a whole bunch of kids, I can't get another job because I already have 2 full-time jobs. Plus I'm raising 3 children. So and then I have YouTube as well. So I have a lot going on. But what I'm telling y'all, recession is possibly around the corner. Go get y'all another source of income so that you make it out of the recession on top. Now, let's go to the next thing right now, which is essentially I want to pull up a map of the nation, and we're going to look at various states to see how much more expensive it is to own versus rent. Okay, guys, this map is from iProperty Management. This is also a good source of data. Now, this is the difference between median mortgage payment and median monthly rent. Now, it's always important to know this is just the average of the state. Remember that there's markets within markets. So obviously there's going to be areas that are drastically different than the median average, either higher and also lower. But let's look across the states. And I'm going to tell you what I find is really interesting. Now, here's my home state of Texas. So in Texas, overall, it's $458 a month more to own versus rent. So almost $500. But look at the West Coast. Look at this. $668 more to own in California versus rent. Rent is so high in California. This is a huge surprise. Alaska, $706 more? That's over Hawaii? That doesn't make sense to me, but check this out. Look at the East Coast, $805 more. $805 more to own versus rent. But what I am really surprised at, you guys, is Florida. How is Florida, look at this, $228? How is Florida only $228 more a month to own versus rent? That's almost a slam dunk. If you live in Florida, buy, right? But I'm not saying buy. I'm just saying it's almost a slam dunk. This is just an average. But I cannot believe Florida is such a small difference because it's such a high demand area. Florida is the #2 state of mass migration, especially coastal cities. So this is a shocking number to me. It's very, very low. Now what I want to do is I want to show you guys a map of how much percentage of people are renting versus owning. So here's the map right now. Now here's Texas. So 62% of households in Texas are owning. Really awesome. Look at Florida. Florida's high, 66% of households in Florida are owning. But here's what I'm really surprised about. Look at the West Coast. Look at California, 55%. Look at Nevada, 57%. So it's fair to say that the West Coast is starting to become a state of renters, right? So California, state of renters. I mean, obviously California is super expensive, as you guys know. That's where I'm from. I moved to Texas so that I can afford to live, and I wasn't married to my rent or house payment. California is just super expensive. But look at that, 57%, 55%. Look at this, 54%, which is the lowest. Very intriguing, you guys. And look it up here, 72% of people own their homes, 72%, 72%. You know, very, very good. 73%, 72%, 72%. So there are good areas in the nation. You know, if you're one of those people that can actually work from home, like there's so many people working from home, that's part of the mass migration problem in Texas and in Florida, because people from the East Coast, people from the West Coast, things are so expensive there. And now that people can work from home, so many people can work from home. People are flooding to my state. People are flooding to Florida. People are flooding to Texas because we still have reasonable home prices. But what that's doing is massive equity surges. It's lagging behind the rest of the nation as far as cooling down. And it's kind of a problem for us locals. I consider myself a local now in Texas because I've been here almost a decade. So anyways, what I want you guys to see now is I want to show you guys my local housing market here in Houston so you guys can kind of see the problems that we have, because I'm already, like I said, I'm already seeing signs across the nation, not in my local area, that prices of houses are being reduced. Homes are sitting on the housing market longer. There's less multiple bids. There's less people going over asking price, right? Across the nation, right? So the housing market's starting to cool down, especially in California and coastal areas. A lot of places are cooling down, but there's still a lot of places that are not cooling down. And that is what I'm telling you guys about Houston. Take a look at my MLS right now. Okay, guys, so let me zoom out a little bit. So as you can see here, I'm going to zoom out. Here's Houston, Austin, San Antonio, right? Here's Dallas up here. Now, of all these 4 cities, you know, I picked Houston. The reason I picked Houston is it's the most affordable of the four to live, in my opinion. Plus, it's right next to the ocean. I'm an outdoors person, and I absolutely love fishing, and I love going to the ocean. And our oceans here, you can actually drive on almost all of the beaches, which is super cool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into an area I've been watching, which is Kingwood. The reason I've been watching Kingwood is I want to actually live in Kingwood. I love Kingwood. They have super good schools, and it's pretty affordable to live. But what I want to show you guys is these are all the houses on the market, right? The ones that are orange are houses that are under contract. The ones that are green are still available. So you can see the lack of inventory that I have right now in Kingwood. Almost every single home is under contract. Now, to give you an idea, there's very few houses available that are even under 300,000. This one here, 242. Look at up here, there's a couple. Only a few. Now, a couple months ago, there were no houses at 200,000. Everything was 300 and above. And as you can see, look at 179. That's rare, but it's junky, you guys. All these houses are super junky. The good houses down here, 500, 500, 300. But there's not a lot available. And if you guys remember, I said there's a whole bunch of new building going around my house. Let me show you this. Look, this represents a new builder here. This represents a new builder. There's two new builders down here, right? Here's a new builder right here as well. So there's a lot of new builders. There's like two new builders right here. But what I want to show you is look, and here's a new builder up here. Okay, let me show you this new builder. Look at this. They don't even have any lots available except one now. All of the lots that they had are actually under contract. So these are actually, in my opinion, 20% over market right here, these houses. But it's all under contract and they're not even built yet. They started with a lot. So there's not even options for us to get lots. And if look at this new home builder over here, look at nothing's available. So even though Texas is the #1 state as far as new building, the demand is still too high in my area. And that's why my overall, what I'm trying to tell you guys is wait a little bit longer. And the reason I'm saying don't buy right now, wait a little bit longer is we already see the effects happening of the cool down. You got to let more time play out for the interest rates to combat inflation and to start cooling down the market. If you jump into the market right now, you're going to be entering a market full of fear of missing out, overbidding, waiving inspections, waiving appraisals, all kinds of crazy stuff. And you guys don't want to do that when it comes to the biggest financial transaction of your life, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. So again, I say, pat yourself on the back if you're waiting on purpose. Now, I'm going to end this video, guys, with just a couple snippets of my opinion. Now, remember this. It's better to have a higher interest rate than overpay for a price. So don't worry that much that interest rates are surging. We need them to surge. We need things to shift. We need things under control. Number two, remember this. It's better no deal than a bad deal. Houses don't go away. So if you get a bad deal, you're locked into that for a very, very long time. And also, number three, you guys, a little patience goes a long way. And you're going to see that this year and into 2023. All of us people that have been waiting for an opportunity just to have a little bit normal housing market, our time is coming. I believe it's going to happen at the end of this year and into 2023, but it's going to happen in some places sooner than others. Now, overall, you guys, what I'm saying is this: don't worry about the interest rates going up. Don't worry that right now it's more expensive to own versus rent. Things will start shifting again. Things will get more affordable again. Demand will go down. Supply will go up, as it always does. Okay. Nothing is, I mean, there are some new factors, but this whole show, this whole circus has actually gone on several times throughout history. Remember 2008, I was in that. I lost money in 2008 because I over purchased. I could no longer sell my house when I lost my job because of a recession, which ultimately trapped me in my house and led to a foreclosure. I want to prevent that happening to you. If you're out there freaking out in the housing market, do not let fear of missing out control you guys. Other than that, you guys keep improving yourself, keep loving your family, build your credit, save your money, get out of consumer debt. And as always, thank you for following along with me on my journey. If you're out there in real estate and you're looking to invest, I wish you luck and I hope you win.